Welcome to U.S. News Source Channel. Explosions occurred at military airports on the territory of Russia. Simultaneous explosions brought the tension to the level in the country. Many Russian military planes were damaged. Moreover, the location of military airfields where the explosions took place increased the criticality of the situation. Explosions at airports in two different regions drew attention. Moscow is on the move. One of these explosions took place in the Saratov region of Russia. According to the allegations, the military airfield in this region was hit by an unmanned aerial vehicle attack. As a result of this incident, two Russian planes were damaged. It has been reported that strategic bombers such as Tu-95 and Tu-160 are located in the military airspace in this region, where Russian strategic aviation facilities are located. These planes are known to be missile-carrying bombers. Thanks to its features, it is stated that it can launch cruise missiles from a distance of 1,000 kilometers. It is also known that Russian troops carried out attacks over the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea with these bombers against the territory of Ukraine. Fact that this region is far from the border with Ukraine arouses curiosity. Russia has made claims about this situation. Allegedly, this attack was planned and carried out by Ukraine. Reason why Moscow thinks this way is that the hit areas are military airfields and they were carried out simultaneously. However, the fact that this region is far from the territory of Ukraine increases the concerns on the Moscow side. Possible moves of the Ukrainian troops cannot be predicted, as it is thought to be carried out by Ukraine. Reason for these concerns is that they constantly see the successes of these troops on the territory of Ukraine. At the same time, the other area where the explosion took place is located on the border of the capital Moscow. For this reason, the sounds of explosions echoed in the center of Russia. It was reported that a fuel truck exploded at a military airport near the Ryazan region, which borders the capital Moscow. As a result of the explosion, it was stated that the tanker caught fire and the area was damaged. At the same time, it was announced that some aircraft in the area were damaged. These explosions increased the panic atmosphere in the country. It even caused the war to be felt more on Russian soil. There had been attacks on Russia's border areas before, and many military points were damaged. However, the fact that these developments took place far from the Ukrainian border and near the capital Moscow aroused curiosity about the details. It is known that Ukraine does not have a system that can carry out attacks at such a long range. However, it is claimed that these explosions were carried out by unmanned aerial vehicles. Even if such a situation has occurred, the ability to make progress from the skies of Ukraine to the center will also reveal a great result. That result is Russia's serious inadequacy of defense. Fact that Moscow, which has already suffered serious losses in the territory of Ukraine, also begins to suffer military losses in its own territory, will change the size of the war considerably. In response to these moves, Russia increased its attacks on the border regions. It was reported that Russian forces attacked the Sumy region of Ukraine again. Fact that this region is located on the border makes one think that the risk of attack will continue as long as the war continues. Details of the events in the region were given by the head of the Sumy Oblast Military Administration, Dmytro Zavitsky. According to the statements, Russian troops carried out a total of 64 attacks against 4 regions on this front. It was reported that the area around Nova Sloboda was attacked with artillery and 35 mortar attacks were carried out in the surrounding areas. It was announced that Russia bombed the area around the Unikivka region on the Sumy front with 120 mm caliber mortars. It was also reported that 2 attacks were carried out in the Velika Pisarivka region. It was stated that the regions were damaged as a result of these attacks. However, repairing the damaged areas will continue, even if it is difficult. Reason why it is difficult is that it is very close to the Russian border along this front line. However, the risks at the border apply not only to Ukraine but also to Russia. Because it is well known that Ukrainian troops can make accurate moves within the borders of Russia when necessary. This causes the tension on the Moscow side to continue. Moreover, it is known that Russia's Air Force has had difficulty in achieving success since the beginning of the war and has not been able to prevent losses. But the reasons for the failure of the Russian Air Force were revealed. It is known that Moscow made many strategic mistakes and caused losses in this war that has been going on for months. In fact, since the beginning of the war, the Russian Air Force is still being relegated to the second role. Such an advance of Russia, which turns to air attacks especially when it has difficulties in every ground operation, also makes it difficult to achieve success. According to the statements, the Russian Air Force had to reduce its activities at some critical times due to the prevalence of Ukrainian anti-aircraft guns. In addition, the weather conditions, the defense systems coming to Ukraine and the increasing experience of the Ukrainian soldiers caused a serious decrease in the activities of the Russian aircraft. On the other hand, Ukraine continues its correct moves with various tactics. So far, as a result of accurate moves, Moscow has reportedly lost around 260 attack helicopters and more than 280 attack, bomber and warplanes. Many destroyed Russian military installations are located on the territory of Ukraine. Moreover, a new one is added to Russia's war losses every day. At the same time, it was stated that the Russian forces had the disadvantage of using missiles and unguided missiles in their attacks. Because in order to fire these ammunition, it is necessary to approach the target. This makes it more vulnerable to attacks by Ukrainian anti-aircraft units. While the intensity of the war and operations has increased so much, it is much more difficult to carry out an attack from close range. On the contrary, one of the biggest advantages of Kyiv is that it can perform remote attacks thanks to long-range systems from various countries. This situation makes a great contribution to the better progress of the war on behalf of Kyiv. However, in response to Kyiv's moves, Russia again launched a large-scale missile attack on Ukrainian territory. It was reported that more than 70 missiles were launched with these moves. According to the statements regarding the attacks, Russian troops attacked with 8 Tu-95 MiS missile-carrying bombers from the Caspian Sea and the Volgodonsk vicinity of Russia's Rostov Oblast. It was announced that 38 Kh-101 and Kh-55 cruise missiles were fired in this attack. More than 20 caliber cruise missiles were fired from Russian warships on the Black Sea. It was also stated that Russian forces fired 6 Kh-59 guided aircraft missiles and 1 Kh-31P with Su-35 attack aircraft. However, it is seen that Russia is targeting Ukraine's energy infrastructure with such attacks. Again, many infrastructures in the country's territory were damaged. However, the repair work on many of them also causes these missiles of Moscow, which are very valuable, to be wasted. In response to these attacks of Russia, Ukrainian forces also carried out attacks. Ukrainian planes attacked 5 points where the Russian forces, their weapons and military equipment were located. At the same time, Ukraine's rocket and artillery troops struck 2 command centers, the center of 8 Russian forces, and an important facility of Russian forces in the last day. Flames rose as a result of successive explosions from Russian military points. Neutralization of many Russian military points and the destruction of equipment further increases the tension in Moscow. Now, the result of Russia's misuse of its last remaining ammunition will be more severe than the previous ones. Because replacing the remaining military resources with new ones is much more difficult both economically and militarily. It is even seen that Moscow could not even repair damaged equipment due to Western sanctions. Moreover, it is known that most of the military resources he has are from the time of the Soviet Union. This makes it much more difficult to repair if welds are damaged. In time, all kinds of steps that countries will take regarding the war and all kinds of decisions that leaders will make should be made in a strategic direction. Otherwise, if one side makes a mistake, the other side will have a serious advantage. This situation will become a determining factor in the course of the war. There is no longer the luxury of making mistakes for both sides. We'll see what happens in the next few days. We have reached the end of another video. You can support us by liking the video. You can easily follow new videos by subscribing. I wish you all a war-free day. See you.